You know what I hate about Charlotte?
Do you know what I hate about Charlotte?
What's up, guys? It's Doug and Heather, your local Charlotte real estate experts.
Today we're talking about all the things that we hate about Charlotte.
All the things we despise about Charlotte. There aren't many, but we came up with a list and we're going to share it with you. And we're getting after it
Right now.
And guys, as much as we love making these videos, what we love even more is helping you with your real estate needs. So if you are thinking about moving to Charlotte, whether you're moving from across town or across the country, we would love to help you. Please feel free to reach out. We're going to drop our phone number and email below. Call, text, email, however you want to get a hold of us. We've got your back and we would love to help you with your move to Charlotte.
The first negative that we wanted to talk about today is that Charlotte's expensive. Charlotte's housing prices have really changed over the past 5 years. You have some areas of Charlotte that have almost doubled in price. And that's really relative to the area, depending on what the schools are like, what types of things you have around that area as far as amenities. So what we're seeing is the areas with the highly desired school districts and the lower crime rates that have a lot of the shopping and things that you like to do. Now, overall, last year we saw almost a 12% increase in home values. Now this year we're a little bit slower. So as of May, we're seeing about almost a 3% increase in prices since last year. And that's because the interest rates are coming up and home prices here in Charlotte are stabilizing.
Yeah, inventory is really tight. So great for sellers, obviously, who've been sitting on that equity over the last 5 years, but really tough for buyers these days to be able to get something that they would want to move their family into. The prices have gone up so much. And what we're finding is a lot of buyers are giving us their must-haves, and they sort of need to make some sacrifices on their must-haves list once they start actually shopping with us for homes and seeing what is available. So it's tough.
It is tough.
Definitely expensive.
Yep. What we're seeing is a lot of homes are having multiple offers. So on average, most of the homes in Charlotte are having at least 3 offers. And again, your more highly desired areas, you can have as many as 10 or 15 offers coming in the first weekend. And with that, it's really driving up the prices of the homes. So I think about 30 to 35% of the homes are going over asking price right now. We've also seen the rent prices in Charlotte increase dramatically. Since last year, we've seen rent prices go up about 12% in Charlotte. And again, that depends on what area you're looking at. But overall, we've seen about a 12% increase.
Yeah, rental market's really tightened up. There's not much on the market as well. And like Heather said, I mean, the rates are being raised every single year. It's really tough.
And it's also very competitive. So you can expect to put multiple applications in and still not get a home. So whether you're buying or renting, it's going to be competitive and it's going to be a lot more expensive than it has been. Now, of course, that's relative depending on where you're coming from. So if you're coming from New York or if you're coming from LA, we're probably going to be less expensive. But overall, Charlotte's market has gone from being a little bit below average to a little bit above average. We're also seeing an increase in the price of entertainment. So, for instance, I just took my daughter and her friend out. So for 4 of us to go out to not a super fancy restaurant, but a decent restaurant. We had some appetizers, we had a couple drinks, and we all had meals. It was almost $200. We're really seeing an increase in price of going out to eat. You're also seeing an increase in price in groceries and gas. So our gas here right now, May of 2023, is about $3.30 a gallon.
And that's for the cheap stuff. The premium is like $4.15 a gallon right now. So the next one that everybody hates about Charlotte, and we probably should have put it as number 1, but Heather actually has 3 and I have 2 in this video to talk about. So we figured we would take turns, which means I'm number 2. So the number 2, even though we think it's the number 1, is traffic. The traffic in Charlotte is insane. It's gotten really bad over the last 5 years. We've had a ton of growth here. You know, a lot of people are moving here. It's great for the economy, but our infrastructure was not built to handle this many people. And with all the construction projects that we have going on all over town, at any given time, if you look uptown, you can see 10 to 12 cranes, massive crane projects. They're putting in new high-rises. Obviously, with a lot of construction comes a lot of road closures and detours, and it's a shit show. It's a train wreck. I don't know how else to put it. Nobody likes the traffic here in Charlotte. We were rated the number 24 worst city in the country for traffic. So if you commute uptown, or if you commute from your home, they've done a study, and apparently you're going to average 48 hours a year in commuting time.
What?
Traffic congestion is the worst.
It is, for sure. And it used to be that it was only certain times a day.
Yep.
Now it's anytime. Anytime you go out, you're hitting traffic.
The morning rush hour with the school crossings, and there's so many schools in this area, and there's so many more being built, that you're constantly going to be running into school bus traffic. So just got to be patient. I've learned to become a lot more patient of a person living in Charlotte and having to deal with that. So yeah, traffic and congestion is definitely going to be our number one, but we're putting it as number two.
The next thing on our list that we hate about Charlotte is walkability. I love places where you can walk to everything. Charlotte is not one of those places. Walkability is rated on a score of 0 to 100, 100 being the most walkable as far as being able to do your daily errands without a car. Charlotte falls in at 26. Just to give you an idea, New York City comes in at 88. So really, most things you do in Charlotte, you're gonna need a car. I think Charlotte is doing a good job of building more live-work places, and there are small pockets located throughout Charlotte where you do have some walkability, but overall, Charlotte is not a walkable city. So the 3 areas rated most walkable in Charlotte are 4th Ward, 2nd Ward, and 1st Ward. They're all located around the uptown area of Charlotte. Now, throughout Charlotte, you have small areas that are walkable. So some of the few walkable areas that we do have in Charlotte would be Waverly, which is located in the South Charlotte area. That's a new shopping center, live-work area. Also Matthews, and we've done a couple videos on Matthews, and we'll put the links down below so that you can take a look at the Matthews area. If you go into North Charlotte, you have a cute little live-work shopping area called Birkdale Village. Also, another place to mention is the South End area. So that's right before you get to uptown Charlotte. And you do have some walkability if you live right in that area. Also, they're putting in a couple new developments throughout Charlotte. One is going to be the River District. Also to mention South Park, you have some walkability in the South Park area.
Right, but these are little pockets. So
yes.
In general, we feel that Charlotte is definitely not great for walkability. These are some awesome little pockets that you're mentioning, but overall,
yes,
you need a car.
You do, for sure.
Yeah.
If you want to take a little further look, we do have a video on South Park as well, and we'll post that link down below.
So the next thing on our list that we don't like about Charlotte is we've got a pretty high crime rate. Now, neither of us have, luckily, been involved in any kind of violent crimes, or I think we've had some things stolen from our cars at one point, but in general, we've never been a victim of any crimes. However, that's not to say that it doesn't happen. And in Charlotte, compared to the rest of the U.S., we are quite a bit higher than the average. In fact, niche.com actually gave us a C as far as crime, when our neighbors down the road in Raleigh, they actually got an A. So I was really surprised about that. There are certain parts of Charlotte that are worse as far as crime goes than others, and you can certainly find that on crimemapping.com. is a great website that you can go to, plug in an address. So from 2021 to 2022, violent crime was actually down in Charlotte, Mecklenburg County. However, every other crime was up. Everything from homicides, murder, burglary, armed robbery, arson, all of those things sound pretty violent to me.
They do.
So I don't really know how they rate violent crime, but violent crime apparently was down in Charlotte and everything else was up. So as a whole, we live in a pretty safe area. We're down in South Charlotte. If you do check out the crime mapping website, you'll be able to take a look, especially if you're planning on moving here. We highly recommend that.
Yeah, I tell all of our out-of-town clients to look at the crime mapping because they're not familiar with the area, and we want them to familiarize themselves with what's going on in each area of Charlotte. So that's something we always encourage them to do.
Yeah. We don't see a lot of these crimes happening necessarily around us, but as a whole, Charlotte, not so good.
So the last thing we wanted to mention is Charlotte's weather. As a whole, Charlotte's weather is not bad, but if you do not like heat and humidity, then you definitely don't want to live in Charlotte.
Brutal.
The summers are brutal. Me personally, I love heat and humidity. I love to go out to the lake. I love to go to the pool. It doesn't bother me, but a lot of people it does. So think about, as soon as you step out that door, you are instantly sweating.
Yep.
Yeah.
Smacked in the face with humidity.
Yes.
I prefer air conditioning myself. And that goes from May, June till September, October.
Yeah. Sometimes as far in as October.
Yep.
But we do have 4 seasons here. Usually the spring is very short and the fall is very short. We also have something they call false seasons. Usually at the end of fall, you think you're jumping right into winter, and you'll have a week where the temperatures drop down into the 30s, and then it comes back and it's 80 the next day. And it does this throughout the winter. So you'll think end of winter, you're coming into spring, and you'll get these beautiful 70, 80 degree days, and then all of a sudden it's 20 degrees again. So something we thought we should mention is those fall seasons that we have here in Charlotte. Another thing that we hate about Charlotte is we have a season dedicated to pollen. So all the way from late February, early March through end of May, early June, we have a pollen season.
Yep. We're keeping the allergy companies in business here in the Carolinas.
For sure.
Yep.
So you can count on either not bothering washing your car or washing your car every day, because every morning when you come out to your car, it's going to be covered in green. Your patio furniture, everything. Some people don't have problems with seasonal allergies, but when they move to Charlotte, they definitely do.
100%.
Yeah. So for those of you that are still watching, this didn't make the top 5 list, but definitely something I wanted to mention because I hate this about Charlotte. We have bugs. Not just any bugs, we have big bugs. Big, giant, I think they call them palmetto bugs, but to me, it looks like a giant cockroach.
Yep.
And so when you go to try to kill them, they fly at you.
Hurry, kill it, kill it. 3, 2, 1.
And they are everywhere. They make it into people's houses no matter how much money you spend on pest control.
It
You're
does
gonna
not
find
matter.
bugs. Yep.
Yeah. So what I do to solve this problem is I will put them under cups. And I will wait for my kids to get home from school or get up in the morning, and I will make them deal with the bugs. Because I don't want to squish them. I don't want to go anywhere near them. I don't want them flying at me. I don't even want to see them. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. We hope that you found our negativity useful. And if we can be a resource to you in any way, please feel free to call, text, email, reach out with any questions that you may have. We'd be happy to answer. And until the next time, we'll catch you later.